Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very well, and if you're new here to the channel then welcome, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Today we're going to be watching another episode of Doctor Who. This is going to be the Brink of Disaster, and it follows on the classic Who storyline, the previous episode, which was the Edge of Destruction. I've got to try and remember these names of these episodes. It all centered around almost a play where the TARDIS team got knocked unconscious at the beginning. They then suffered some sort of what I thought was amnesia. Susan was really strange throughout the entire episode. The doors have also randomly been opening in the TARDIS, and we don't know why. Something got into the TARDIS, but we don't know what. Potentially something is in one of them now. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the episode, so join me whilst we watch it. I've got a nice little coffee here, and you can check out the full reaction to this over on my Patreon page. But without further ado, let's watch the episode. I loved the last episode, the drama of a play. The Brink of Disaster. Oh yeah, and there was still images of places they've been as well, appearing on the TARDIS, on the console screen. Yes, it was Ian. It was Ian's hands.
So it was you?
Ian!
It's no use pretending.
Well, help him!
Help him?
What?
You saw him? You saw what he tried to do?
But now he's fainted, just like Susan did.
She didn't faint. It was you that told me she fainted, and I very nearly believed you.
So I did say there was something weird about Ian and Susan.
Oh, he's play acting.
No, he isn't. Something terrible's happening to all of us.
Not to me. Nothing's happened to me.
Not to Barbara.
This is a plot between the two of you to get control of my ship.
Oh, that isn't true.
Can't you see I found you out? Why won't you admit it,
Yes. Why don't you?
Oh, that was creepy.
You've been behaving very strangely.
No, you've been.
But you're wrong.
I don't know if there's anything weird with the Doctor.
I told you I'd treat you as enemies.
The Doctor's kind of always been a bit strange.
No.
There's no other way.
Susan, it's you.
Well, what are you going to do?
That is my business.
Ian, help me.
There's no alternative. Your little trick endangered our lives.
What's he going to do? Throw him out the TARDIS? Or?
How did he get like this?
Oh, it's all a charade.
He went near the control panel. It did happen to me, Grandfather. Yes. You remember, you lost your memory, and there was this terrible pain at the back of your neck. Yes. Yes, that's true. What do you think we've done? Hypnotized you? Drugged you?
It's like the Stranger Things Vecna thing with the back of the neck.
I see. Divide and conquer, eh? She's trying to poison your mind against me.
It's already been...
Doctor. Oh. I do believe you. Grandfather, they couldn't have done all the things that
Oh, yes, I admit they were very smart.
No, it's not a question of being smart.
Don't you see I wouldn't allow them to hurt you, child? They're very resourceful and cunning, and it only leaves me one recourse. They must be put off the ship.
No, you can't do that.
I can and I must.
But you can't open the doors.
Don't underestimate my powers, young lady.
Look, Grandfather, you've no means of telling what's out there.
Yes, or it might be the Earth in the 20th century, hadn't it occurred to you?
Could be.
Why are you so suspicious of us?
Put yourself in my place.
I mean, you are humans, different races to him.
What are you two saying to each other?
You're getting off the ship, Chesterton.
Can't just...
Now?
Yes, now.
Okay, no worries. You can't just throw them off the ship. Take them back to their own time period. Unless that is where they are. That's what he said. I don't think it was.
I'll be all right when I get outside.
He doesn't know what's happening. I won't let you do this.
If, of course, they'd like to confess to me what they have done to my ship, I may even change my mind.
What is that? Was there a boat next to him?
What was that? The danger signal.
Oh, right.
The Porticator!
The what?
The whole of it!
Oh, don't touch it, Doctor.
It's all right.
No, you'll get knocked out.
Grandfather, tell me.
The whole area of the Porticator has just given us a warning.
Everything can't be wrong.
That's what it means, child.
No. Ian.
No, Ian, no.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's not Ian, though. I think something's in Ian.
Pull you away. Controls are aligned.
No, you mustn't be frightening me. Not now, please. I can't explain, but I've just realized the danger within.
Grandfather.
These weird noises are great. The piano earlier when she came to the door and she looked weird.
The Porticator?
Yes?
If one small piece of apparatus fails, a little bulb illuminates and tells me precisely where the fault is.
Right, and all of them went up.
What would happen if the whole of it lights up?
The whole thing is
The ship is on the point of disintegration.
the brink
You're not to blame.
of
All
disaster.
4 of us are to blame.
Oh, you're all right. That drink you gave us.
Oh, a mere harmless sleeping drug.
I knew it.
Yes,
Something
you rather
weird.
suspected I was up to some mischief.
Yeah, with
I told you not to go near the control column. You'll electrocute yourself.
15 seconds. It's happening every 15 seconds.
Can you concentrate?
Yes, I think I'm all right.
We're on the brink of destruction, so that all 4 of us must work closely together.
I think he got confused with the names like I did.
Just a moment. Why did you say that?
The brink.
The brink of destruction.
There's a strong force at work somewhere which is threatening my ship.
It's called the brink of disaster, so I think he got it wrong. So then Ian had to say it wrong as well.
It's so strong that every piece of equipment can be out of action at the same time.
Right.
Total disintegration?
Precisely.
Yep.
We haven't crash landed, otherwise I would have discovered that immediately. And I don't believe there's an evil intelligence in the ship. Just at the same token, I don't really believe that either of you have been the cause of this trouble.
Well, what is then?
Well, then why did you say it?
We must find out.
Yes, but how long have we got?
It's definitely every quarter of a minute.
But there is something really weird with Susan.
We have a measure of time as long as it lasts. That explains the clock face. We had time taken away from us, and now it's been given back to us because it's running out.
Oh god, that's not good. And that sounds like they've landed, I think.
The column!
It's impossible.
What?
I thought it only moved when the power was on.
Yes, the heart of the machine is under the column.
But what made it move?
The source of power. When the column rises, it proves the extent of the power thrust.
Then what would have happened if the column had come out completely? Well, the power would be free to escape.
Can it be possible, then, that this is the end?
I hope not.
The end?
We have 10 minutes to survive.
Only 10 minutes.
As little as that?
Maybe less.
Maybe more.
Be careful, Doctor.
Oh, it's quite safe here.
I am hoping that there was something
This is where I stood when I tried the scanner switch.
weird happening with them. Like, as in there's some intelligence inside one of them.
Why is that part safe?
I really like that storyline.
Oh, I never stop it in time!
I don't know even where to begin, Chesterton. If only I had a clue.
I think perhaps we've been given nothing else but clues.
Yeah?
Like the food machine, you mean?
Yes,
It registered empty, but it wasn't.
but the clock is the most important. It made us aware of time. By taking time away from us? Yes,
Yeah.
and it replaced time by the light on the fault indicator.
Yes, it did.
What do you mean? My machine can't think.
It can, actually.
You say it has a built-in defense mechanism?
Yes, it has.
Well, that's where we've been wrong. Originally, the machine wasn't at fault, we were. And it's been trying to tell us so ever since.
Right, okay.
A machine that can think for itself?
Yes.
Is that feasible, Doctor?
Oh, think not as you or I do. It must be able to think as a machine. You see, it has a bank of computers.
The power is under this column,
Yes?
and the column holds it down.
Yes.
What would make it want to escape?
Something outside?
Yes, possible.
Yeah.
A magnetic force?
Or something inside?
Well, it would have to be a gigantic one. A one as strong as the solar system.
You see, the machine has been warning us all along. All those
Yeah.
blackouts we had. But only if anybody went near the control column. Yes.
But it could be the power escaping.
No, it couldn't. If you felt the power, dear boy, you wouldn't live to speak of it.
I'm very quiet, by the way, sorry. I'm trying to make sense of this story.
Should those doors open again, I want you to be standing by them and tell me whatever it is you see outside, understand? I lied, deliberately, so
Oh,
that they won't know. We have 5 minutes only. When the end does come, they won't know anything about it.
There's no hope then.
I can't see any.
okay.
Will you face it with me?
What are you two talking about?
Nothing.
Just a theory of mine that didn't work.
Yes, we must solve this problem, you know. We must.
Why does it keep showing what looks like England? Or, as the doctor said, it's a picture of England. There it is.
Nothing there! Nothing!
Epsilon.
Nothing but space! It's all right, Susan.
Oh, so it's space outside. It's interesting then, it keeps showing events that they've been to before.
Whenever there's a good picture, the door's open because it's safe for us to go outside. And then it shows us a terrible picture and the doors close again.
Yeah,
Then we have the sequence.
good picture. And then, is that where they need to go, maybe?
Getting further away. Blinding
And then-
flash. Destruction. Yes, of course. It's our journey.
And the ship refused to destroy itself.
Yes.
The defense mechanism stopped the ship, and it's been trying to tell us so ever since.
Okay. Just be careful. Ooh. Dramatic lighting.
I know. I said it would take the force of a total solar system to attract the power away from my ship. We are at the very beginning.
The start of time.
The new start of a solar system. Outside, the atoms are rushing towards each other, fusing, coagulating, until minute little collections of matter are created.
The Big Bang.
And so the process goes on, and on, until dust is formed. Dust then becomes solid entity, a new birth of a sun and its planets.
Yeah, but you're in the center of all of that. Don't think that's a good idea.
Doctor, where are we? When we left the planet Skaro, where did you ask the machine to take us to? Think, Doctor.
The beginning of time?
I'd hoped to reach your planet Earth. Carole was in the future, and I used the fast return switch.
The fast return switch.
Which probably took them back to the beginning of time.
You've sent us back too far. Doctor, show me. Show me that switch. Where is it?
I can't very well see it without a light.
It's near the scanner switch, but that's the part of the control that's safe.
We haven't got very much time left.
There's the switch.
But how does it work?
Well, you merely press it down and...
Oh, don't press it. Don't do it.
It's stuck. It hasn't released itself.
You mean it's been on all this time?
Yes, it must have been.
Well, come on, Doctor. Let's
wait.
get it unstuck.
So does that mean...
Yes, there you are, you see?
What's wrong?
The spring's not connecting.
Hurry.
Wait,
I mean, I'm not sure about touching it.
luckily we can turn it over and now it should work.
Bang.
There. Ah, that's all right.
Oh, is it the... do you think it was the TARDIS telling him that you had it on wrong? All is hopefully better? Hopefully? I love this whole episode. Ian's been in his robe. In fact, they've all been...
We're quite safe now.
Apart from the Doctor. They've all been in pyjamas.
Grandfather,
Yes, my child.
what happened?
It was the switch. It was still in place.
But that doesn't explain Susan being the way she was.
Well, the switch hadn't broken down. Therefore, the fault locator couldn't give us any recognition.
So if the spring were broken, it would be as if your finger were pressing it down all the time.
Precisely. You know, my dear child, I think your old grandfather is going a tiny little bit around the bend. Well, I think you were very brave, and I was proud of you.
Okay, from what they did in the first episode, I'm not that keen on what they've done in this episode because it just reverted it all. Barely anything's happened in this episode.
You said some terrible things to them.
Don't bother to say anything, Doctor.
I'm sorry.
You know, there are times when I can read every thought on your face.
Really? Yes. And I always thought that you were a young man without any recrimination in you.
The reason I say what I say about the TARDIS and it not really affecting things and this episode just not really going anywhere is the whole thing that happened with Susan couldn't have been because of the TARDIS. Same with Ian trying to strangle them.
Well, absolutely right. Instinct and intuition against my logic, and you succeeded. You read a story into all these things and was determined to hold on to it.
Is she thinking about the whole Susan thing though?
We all owe you our lives.
Is she okay?
You know, I really believe I have underestimated that young lady in the past. Well, now, we could all start again, eh? Yes. But which? What are you laughing at, dear boy? Oh, really, you are. This is very nice.
Is that the end of it? I'm a little confused. Isn't just me, is it? Is it a not confusing storyline because it's a simple storyline, but makes everything else previously confusing?
We've landed on a planet and the air is good, but it's rather cold outside.
Susan told me.
Yes, you haven't forgiven me, have you?
You said terrible things to us.
Yes, I suppose
He
it's
did.
the injustice that's upsetting you, and
Did.
when I made a threat to put you off the ship, it must have affected you very deeply.
What do you care what I think or feel?
As we learn about each other, so we learn about ourselves.
Sometimes you say things that you don't mean, so...
Because I accused you unjustly, you were determined to prove me wrong. So you put your mind to the problem, and luckily you solved it.
Grandfather, we're going out now.
Oh, please, yes. Do open the doors, will you?
Are you coming? Yes.
Oh, by the way, Susan has left you some wearing apparel for outside. You know, we have a very extensive wardrobe here.
Yes, she gave me these.
Yes, I think they're rather charming. We must look after you, you know. You're very valuable.
It's a lovely jacket.
Shall we go?
Oh, they were dressed in their finest.
Oh, hooray!
Very, Sherlock Holmes. Oh, snow.
Absolutely splendid, Chesterton. Yes, it suits you.
Actually, it does. Sort of.
You know, I acquired that ulster from Gilbert and Sullivan.
Oh, really? I thought it was made for two. Well, shall we join the ladies, Doctor?
Yes, why not?
Grandfather! Look!
I was really confused then for a second.
Look at this huge footprint. Must be made by a giant.
Oh. Bum bum bum. Next episode, The Roof of the World, which is the start of the Marco Polo storyline. It's interesting. I don't know if interesting is the word, that episode. It confused me more than anything. Just to me personally, I felt like it was confusing. The Edge of Destruction episode was really intriguing. It was like a play, and it created an eerie atmosphere. It was like a whodunit kind of thing. Like, you didn't know who was this mysterious entity. Like, you didn't know who had the entity in them, or what I assumed was an entity. And then in this one, the entire episode just fell flat. Like, everything you thought about from the previous episode was non-existent in this one. There was a bit when I thought, oh, okay, they're gonna resolve some bits. Susan being really weird in the previous episode, and again in this one, she was really out of character as well for parts of it. Like the bit where she's at the door and they say the whole, the TARDIS was to blame for blah, blah, blah. But from what I can gather, the TARDIS doesn't affect them. It doesn't make them act any differently. But they were acting really strangely, mainly Ian and Susan. You had that bit at the beginning of the episode where Susan, or sort of middle of the episode, I think it was, where Susan stands there at the door looking kind of menacing, and she had the piano jing play when you saw her, and it may seem like there's something weird going on. Was it all to take you away from the idea that something would be wrong with the TARDIS itself? You had the time thing happen with the clocks, which makes sense if it was the TARDIS doing the things, but for some reason the TARDIS also affected their watches, so it stopped their watches, I think. I feel like with what they did in the first episode of it, so the Edge of Destruction, I feel like then the Brink of Disaster could have been better, and it's not saying that the episode was terrible, but I feel like it just went nowhere, that there should have been a better resolving of the issues. So it's not to say that I didn't get any of the episode. I completely got the episode, but I was trying to tie that episode to the previous episode and trying to figure out why people were like they were. It almost like they were two separate storylines that were just there, and there were tiny little strings that kind of merged them together, but they didn't really pair together very well. What are your thoughts on it? Did you think it was an odd resolution to the story? It was like they brought on someone completely different to do the story. They took it a different way to what was originally intended. Maybe I'm looking into it really weirdly. Maybe it did completely make sense, and I do understand that the TARDIS was making things happen there, was making the time acts differently, but that is still no reason for, in the previous episode, Susan to be holding scissors and try and stab a chair, and them to be acting really oddly. Ian trying to strangle the Doctor, for instance. None of that was to do with the TARDIS. Presumably none of it was to do with the TARDIS, and if so, why does the TARDIS make someone feel like that? I understand they're in the TARDIS, but it can't make people's minds change and go weirdly. Was it to do with the water that they were given through that machine? Because from what I remember, both Susan and Ian had some water, potentially? I don't know. For the fact that the water showed up in the machine despite there being no water, although I think there was water, but the light was showing up that there wasn't water. I don't know. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, and to see if maybe it's just me, maybe I just didn't get the episode, maybe. But I do feel like there was either an odd resolution to that, or maybe it was just a bit too, I want to say maybe it was just a bit too convoluted, but it can't have been a bit too convoluted because it was such an easy storyline to figure out for the first one, but then they just mushed it up in the second one and it became a completely different storyline. Let me know what you guys think, and you don't forget you can check out the full reaction to this over on my Patreon page. And if you guys like this, I'm going to be watching the Marco Polo episodes. I know I'm going to be watching the Marco Polo episodes. They aren't the actual episodes. They are going to be the reconstructions from loose canon. The creators of the loose canon episodes went to from what I can gather, the original director and grabbed the still images from the original director themselves to make this reconstruction. They are the black and white ones. I think they're called the LC37s. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Only a few percentage of you are subscribed who watch these, so it would be wonderful if you could subscribe. Helps me in the channel, and then you can, catch up with future Who episodes that I indulge in and continue my journey. And I'm really excited to continue it. Can't wait to see all the other Doctors as well as the rest of William Hartnell's run. It's going to be interesting watching the Marco Polos. I don't know how it's going to be. I know it's just audio that they then put stills over the top. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have an amazing day. I love you guys so much. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Do not forget to click below to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I'd just like to say a huge thank you to all of my supporters over on Patreon, and that includes Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Michael, Chris Holmes, Seth, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Ress, Patrick Durr, and Andrew Blount, and any of you other lovely supporters that has joined since.